God, a person could go crazy thinking about this.
You've probably seen the documentaries. You've heard the talk. It was a low-budget sci-fi hit. Cameron was unknown. Schwarzenegger barely spoke.
Come with me if you want to live.
But that's just the surface. What most fans don't know is this. This movie nearly didn't finish filming. It nearly lost its star. It was constantly reshaped mid-shoot. The director had to fight everyone, even the studio, even his own crew, just to keep the film alive. By the time the camera stopped rolling, the Terminator was more Frankenstein's monster than polished blockbuster, stitched together out of desperation, ego, genius, and a sheer refusal to quit. This isn't nostalgia. This is the real story. 1981. James Cameron was broke, sick, and staying in a cheap European hotel. He wasn't chasing a blockbuster. He was trying to survive. One night he had a feverish nightmare. A skeletal, metallic machine emerging from flames, dragging itself forward, unstoppable. He woke up, scribbled that image, and that became the core of the Terminator. There was no big studio backing, no A-list approval, just Cameron's obsession with an idea that shouldn't make sense on paper, a film about time travel, killer robots, and the end of humanity. Yet, every part of that idea felt risky. Time travel in a gritty action movie? A villain who barely speaks? A love story that's also a war? It looked like three genres mashed together, and producers hated it. They didn't think anyone would follow it.
Say that the future is not set. You must be stronger.
The film's budget was tiny, roughly $6.4 million. That's pocket change for an effects-heavy sci-fi movie. When filming was scheduled to start in early 1983, it was halted because of one contract snag. Arnold Schwarzenegger was tied up filming Conan the Destroyer. The delay changed everything. While waiting, Cameron got pulled into writing another movie and nearly lost his momentum. When production finally did begin, the troubles didn't stop. Right before shooting, Linda Hamilton sprained her ankle. The heroine who has to run for her life, and they kept shooting anyway. No safety net, no big crew, just exhaustion, long nights, and a script that was constantly being rewritten. It was one of the toughest shoots Cameron ever endured, and he spent most nights directing in the dark, not for artistic reasons, because that's when they could film.
Cyborg. Cybernetic organism.
No.
Here's a twist even hardcore fans don't realize. Arnold didn't immediately jump at the role. In fact, he was originally considered for the hero, Kyle Reese. Talk about a drastically different movie. It wasn't until a lunch meeting that Arnold started pushing to play the killer instead, the emotionless machine. That shift changed the entire tone of the film. And once he was cast, one of the most iconic lines in cinema almost didn't exist.
I'll be back.
Arnold himself thought, "I'll be back" sounded strange. He suggested, "I will be back," until Cameron fought tooth and nail to keep the original line. Now, it's legendary, but in the moment, it was just another creative war on a chaotic set.
I'll be back.
There was no digital magic, no CGI safety net. Everything was physical, handcrafted, dangerous. The endoskeleton, one of the most iconic visuals in film, was created painstakingly over 6 months, molded, plated, and stitched together piece by piece. Instead of gloss, they used stop motion and puppetry, cutting corners not for style, but for necessity. Scenes that feel relentless and cinematic weren't planned that way. They were forced into existence because Cameron had to shoot fast, shoot nights, and shoot cheap, often reshaping the story on paper during the shoot. It was battlefield filmmaking. 2 crews, clashing ideas, sleep deprivation, and the constant fear that a misstep would shut the whole thing down.
Your clothes. Give them to me, now.
Fuck you.
No studio supervision, no huge audience guarantee, no fallback. The Terminator survived because Cameron refused to compromise what made it weird, scary, and unsettling in the first place. The scenes that felt chilling, the mechanical terror, came not from comfort, but from limitations. And ironically, those limitations gave birth to something bigger than any studio memo ever could. Production scars didn't hurt the movie. They made the movie. When the Terminator hit theaters, it wasn't an instant blockbuster. It barely cracked the top 20 domestically in 1984 behind Ghostbusters and The Karate Kid. But from home video rentals to midnight screenings, something strange happened. An audience discovered a nightmare they couldn't shake. A story that felt familiar, but terrifying. A villain that didn't stop. And a film that refused to die. The Terminator shouldn't have worked. It was too weird, too risky, too low budget. A sci-fi horror, an action movie, and a time travel puzzle jammed into one. But it didn't just succeed. It redefined what a blockbuster could be. And it did it by embracing chaos, not running from it.
God, a person could go crazy thinking about this.